Ndewo, meaning hello. Kedu mere, how are you doing? Hopefully everything's going well, and thanks for joining me as always. Those that are taking this journey with me to learn my ancestral tongue and probably your ancestral tongue, being African American, as majority of us have Igbo blood in our veins. So I'm just continuing to just make short videos of the things I'm learning from my Igbo 101 book. And I thank all my friends and family over there, which I've adopted some people. They've adopted me over there in Nigeria. So I'm calling my family. And thank you for all of you overseas helping me learn the language as well, and accepting me back into the Igbo culture as we continue to, in my household and my extended family, incorporate the traditions and culture and language of the Igbo people once again. So I am starting a new topic today, being time, everything related to time in the Igbo language. Just as usual, going through about 10 quick terms to learn if you're trying to learn the language as I am. So thank you as always for joining me, and I'll get started. Of course, because you can't see me, I just put my picture on the screen. Again, that was me from 2018 after I just come back from Uyo, Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria, and my favorite outfit, the white senator's outfit. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, in order to say time in Igbo, you would say oge. Again, that's oge for time. And remember, the letters are not pronounced as in English. Some of them do have different sounds than what we're accustomed to when English is your first language. The O is, of course, an O. The E, though, has an A sound. That's why you hear me saying oge for time. Again, oge for time. We'll move on to the next one. And if you're trying to learn, it'd be best just try to repeat it after me as well. Okay, what time is it? You actually say something different in order to ask somebody what the time is over in Igbo land in Nigeria. You would actually say, Kedụ ihe na-akụ. Oops, I said it incorrectly. Let me say it one more time. Kedụ ihe na-akụ. Na-Koe is how I say it at the end. And of course, you'll see the character that looks like a U with a dot underneath. We call it a diacritic. Different sound, it gives it more of an accent. So that's why you hear me saying Kay-Doe, Kay-Doe. That U character makes an O sound when you have the dot underneath it. And then the I makes a real high E sound. So it's Kay-Doe-Ehihie, Kay-Doe-Ehihie. And as you already know, that E makes an A sound. And again, what makes it a little bit more complicated is just like English, you have contractions. That is, when you bring two words together to form one, like those last two words, it looks like you would say Na-Koe, but actually, since it's two A's coming together, you eliminate one. So that's why I said Na-Koe. So to put it all together, it would be Kedụ ihe na-akụ. What time is it? And that breaks down as follows. Kedụ means what. Ihe means thing. And Na-Koe, knocking. So really what you're saying when you ask someone from the Igbo language as a first speaker, you're actually asking them what's knocking, because what they've been telling me is that to them, like the clock time makes a noise. So you're really saying what's knocking. And when you say that, you're saying, what time is it? So again, we'll go through it one more time and we'll move on. It's probably one of the more complicated ones of them all. So it gets a little easier, I'm assuming, for many, especially if this is your first time being exposed to the language. It's Kedụ ihe na-akụ. What time is it? Again, Kedụ ihe na-akụ. What time is it? All right, continuing on. In order to say it's 1 a.m., so I'm going to go through a few to show you how to say the different hours on the clock. To say 1 a.m., I'm going to say it all the way through, and then I'll break it down so it makes more sense. It will be Ah-Boe-Au, elekere, Um-Boe, nke ụtụtụ. All right, now I'll slow it down. What you just said was it is 1 a.m. All right, and here's how it goes. Now remember, when you see a character with a dot underneath, that gives it an accent, gives it a different way of pronouncing it. Again, we call those diacritics. And then the letters, even though they look like English, you don't pronounce them as English letters. They have a different name in Igbo, but I'm just using it in using the English pronunciations of it to make it easy for us. So the O character with the dot underneath it makes an aw sound like auto. The next word is bow. Remember that U with the dot underneath makes an O sound, so Ah-Boe. The E's make an A sound, so the next word is elekere. The next word is Um-Boe. Then the next word is N-K. Then the next word is actually not pronounced the way you see it. I don't know why it does it, but it's kind of like we do in English. We sometimes just violate the rules. It's actually Oh-Tue-Tue. Okay? Oh-Tue-Tue. All right, so going through it again is Ah-Boe, elekere, Um-Boe, N-K, Oh-Tue-Tue. That's 1 a.m. So that breaks down as Ah, which means it. Boe is. Elekere means the hour on the clock. Then Um-Boe, which means the first. So what you just said is it is the hour first. Because remember, like Spanish and most other languages in the world, you give the subject and then the description later. Not like the U.S. English where we give the description then the car, the subject. Like, we would say blue car, but in Igbo, you would say car blue, or in Spanish, you would say car blue. Same thing with Igbo, 99.9% of the time, you're going to give the subject and then the description. So to continue on, so again, let's go back. Ah-Boe, elekere, Um-Boe. So you just said it's the first hour on the clock. NK means on the, and Oh-Tue-Tue, NK means in the, and Oh-Tue-Tue means morning. So you just said it is the first hour in the morning. So that means you just said it's 1 a.m. Okay. All right. So again, it's Ah-Boe, elekere, Um-Boe, NK, Oh-Tue-Tue. So Ah-Boe, elekere, Um-Boe, NK, Oh-Tue-Tue. It is 1 a.m. I'm going to do the same thing pretty much for every hour on the clock. But to change it from AM to PM, you would, instead of using at the end of the sentence, you wouldn't say Oh-Tue-Tue, meaning the morning, that makes it AM. You would say AM, which means in the afternoon. Okay? So it's all the same words, except you're just changing one word at the end. You're saying ehihie instead of Oh-Tue-Tue. So what you would say is Ah-Boe, elekere, Um-Boe, NK, ehihie. Is the first hour of the afternoon. So that translates in English to 1 p.m. So again, it's Ah-Boe, elekere, Um-Boe, NK, ehihie, meaning 1 p.m. All right, let's continue on. You'll get it because it all ends up being really repetitive. You're just changing a few words to give a different hour on the clock. That's all you're doing. All right, so 2 a.m. Again, you would change the end of the sentence back to the morning time, which is Oh-Tue-Tue. But you would actually change the hour. Remember, the hour on the clock is elekere. And then you would have to say, okay, what hour on the clock? To say the number 2, you would say Ah-Boe. So here's how it goes. Ah-Boe, elekere, Ah-Boe, NK, Oh-Tue-Tue. All right, let's slow it down and make it plain. So it's Ah, again, which means it. Boe, which means is. Elekere, which means hour on the clock. Ah-Boe, which means 2. So you just said it is the second hour on the clock. Then the NK means what? It means in the, and Oh-Tue-Tue means morning. So again, what you just said was, it is the second hour on the clock in the morning. So that means it's 2 a.m. So again, to go through the whole thing, it would be Ah-Boe, elekere, Ah-Boe, NK, Oh-Tue-Tue. It is 2 a.m. All right, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do 2 p.m. Remember, it's the same as we did with the other ones. Instead of saying NK, Oh-Tue-Tue, which means AM, we would say NK, A-Hee-Hay, which means PM. So all we're doing is, again, saying the same thing. We just changed one. So you're saying Ah-Boe, elekere, Ah-Boe, NK, A-Hee-Hay, which is 2 p.m. So go slow with it. It's Ah, it, Um-Boe is. Elekere, hour on the clock. Ah-Boe-Au. So you just said it is the second hour on the clock. Na-Koe, which means in the, and A-Hee-Hay, afternoon. So you just said it is the second hour on the clock in the afternoon. So that makes it 2 p.m. So again, it's Ah-Boe, elekere, Ah-Boe-Au, Na-Koe, ehihie. It is 2 p.m. All right, if you're hanging in there, we're almost done. Now we're going to move to 3 a.m. All right, so remember at the end of the sentence, you'll have Oh-Tue-Tue, meaning morning, so you can make it a.m. hours. The word for 3, the number 3 is Oh-Tue. You see that it's A-T in the O character with the diacritic underneath it, so it's Oh-Tue. All right, so what we're going to say then is Ah-Boe, elekere, Oh-Tue, Na-Koe, Oh-Tue-Tue. It is 3 a.m. All right, so let's say it slowly. Ah-Boe is. Elekere, hour on the clock. Oh-Tue, 3. So it is the third hour on the clock. Na-Koe means in, and Oh-Tue-Tue means morning. So you say it's the third hour on the clock in the morning, which makes it 3 a.m. All right. Let's continue on. Just a few more. Remember, said we're just going to go over 10 because we just can blow your mind if we put too much out there at one time. So for 3 p.m., again, you're going to change the end of the sentence and you're going to make it to the afternoon. Remember, ehihie is the afternoon. And one thing I did neglect to tell you, I forgot about the pronunciation of ehihie. You'll see it's E-H-I-H-I-E. Now, the second I in A-Hee-Hay is eliminated, so you don't pronounce the second I. That's why I'm saying A-Hee-Hay. I'm not pronouncing that second I, and that's on purpose. That's the way it's supposed to be done here. All right, so let's go back and let's do 3 p.m. All right, so it's Ah-Boe, elekere, Oh-Tue, Na-Koe, ehihie. 3 p.m. It is 3 p.m. is what you said. So do it slowly. Ah-Boe is. Elekere, hour on the clock. Oh-Tue means 3. So you just said it's the third hour on the clock. Na-Koe means in the, and ehihie means afternoon. So again, we just said it is the third hour on the clock in the afternoon, which makes it 3 p.m. So again, it's Ah-Boe, elekere, Oh-Tue, Na-Koe, ehihie, to say that it is 3 p.m. in the Igbo language of Southeast Nigeria. All right, 2 more. We're going to do 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. and we'll call it a day at that point. All right, to say 4, you would say the word Ana. So you got A-N-O diacritic or with a dot underneath it. So it's Ana is 4. And again, you want to make it where it's a.m. So you got to use the word Oh-Tue-Tue, which means in the morning. So to put it all together, we would say Ah-Boe, elekere, Ana, Na-Koe, Oh-Tue-Tue, which is 4 a.m. So slowly, it would be Ah-Boe is. Elekere, the hour on the clock. Ana, 4. So we just said it's the 4th hour on the clock. Na-Koe means in the, and Oh-Tue-Tue means morning. So we just said it's the 4th hour on the clock in the morning. So that means in Igbo, it is 4 a.m. So Ah-Boe, elekere, Ana, Na-Koe, Oh-Tue-Tue. It is 4 a.m. All right, last one, and we'll quit right here. Now, this is where it's a little bit different because the Igbos actually use in the language morning, afternoon, evening, and night. So you have to know which part of the time of the day to use each one of them. Remember, Oh-Tue-Tue means morning. A-Hee-Hay means afternoon. Um-Boe, which we're going to learn right now, means the evening. And Abali means night. So you got those 4 different divisions of time in order to tell people what time it is. So you got to remember what's hour on the clock coordinates to which word. Okay, so anything something like 1 to about 3 p.m. you would use Let me go do it because I'm doing it off the top of my head. You would use Ah-He-Hay. When it turns 4 p.m., you would use Um-Boe. When he turns 7 p.m., you would use Ah-Boe, meaning the night. Okay, so think about it that way, and we'll go over those as we make more videos in the future. But remember, about 4 o'clock, you start saying that it's actually the evening in Nigeria in the Igbo language. All right, so let's go back to this one then. Remember that Ona means 4. So to say it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon, well, actually, let me get it right. 4 p.m. in the evening, to be proper with it. You would say Ah-Boe-Au, elekere, na-akụ, Um-Boe. It is 4 p.m. Let me do that slowly then. So it's Ah, it, Bo is, elekere, the hour on the clock. Ona means 4. So you just said it is the 4th hour on the clock. Nke, in the. Um-Boe, which means evening. So you said it's the 4th hour in the evening, which translates in English to it is 4 p.m. So again, we'll end with this one and we'll say Ah-Boe-Au, elekere, na nke Um-Boe, which means 4 p.m. So thanks for joining me. Come on this journey with us, and as we continue to learn about our culture, which I said most African Americans are of Igbo blood and DNA and all that good stuff. The more and more we trace our family histories as well as our DNA, you're going to start really seeing a lot of Nigeria in your blood. And a big portion of that is going to be from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria. So I'm going to bid you adieu with the words Ka Mesia. That means goodbye. All right, have a good day. All right, bye-bye.